So this is the second bit of training I want to give you. In the first video, you may have walked away with feeling that this is about video only, but it's absolutely not. This is video first, not video only. And really what we're doing here is we're using video as the fastest way to create the exact content that your audience is already looking for. So we talked about this in the first video, YouTube being the fastest way onto Google, but also YouTube being powerful enough as a channel for you to be focusing on regardless, because your competitors are not there. And if you get the content right, structured properly, then it's going to get you onto page one of Google even faster than any other way. But when we do our live training, which you can, if you're interested in that, just reach out in the link below. But what we're going to show you is how to get your videos ranking number one, or certainly page one, number one, two, or three on YouTube. How to get your videos from YouTube onto page one of Google, knowing exactly what the content is that your audience is already looking for, how to create the right video content, and then also what we're going to talk about here is how to leverage that content way beyond video, way beyond YouTube. And crucially, this is not going to suck up your time. This is about how you can do this in an hour or less each week, while also crucially keeping your competitors out. So why video works, have a think about the power of video. And I always go back to most things in life. What did paleo man do? What for 200,000 years? What did people do naturally? And for 200,000 years, we just naturally communicated face to face. And so fast forward to 21st century, and 55% of communication is visual. So if you're just doing phone calls, if you're just doing PDFs, if you're just doing web pages, you're losing that 55%. And in our modern world, despite the fact that we are innate paleo people that have moved forward 200,000 years, video is there. Technology is there for us to create video. So we're kind of recreating what is natural for humans to do, is to see people face to face, to hear the person, to see their body language, see where they are. But not only is video fast to create nowadays, it's super important that you understand how easy it is to leverage video. And with that, you really are taking the video and you're quickly repurposing the video content into multiple different formats. So yes, I mean, other channels always promote video. You've seen Instagram, move towards heavily pushing video. Some of the TikTok or Snapchat, built around video. And Facebook, embraced video many years ago. And even Pinterest, is images traditionally, but video absolutely. But despite the fact Google bought YouTube in 2006, they've been very slow to sort of sync up the fact that they've got amazing video content that answers real problems with the fact that, Google was happening in a different sort of time zone. So you've got like almost a parallel universe where you've got people searching on Google for content that's already available on YouTube. And only now is Google waking up to the fact that the search results are the answers to search results are actually available on YouTube already. So this is what's happening is that Google is taking content from YouTube, and really the crux of what we're teaching you here is well, certainly not the crux, but the starting point for what we're teaching you in the course is very much around getting your content structured properly onto YouTube. So therefore, Google is more likely to get it onto page one for the right search results. But video is way more primal than that. And it's simple as that, people prefer to see people, humans prefer to see real humans. And when in the first video, I showed you a screenshot of an Accenture video where they obviously got a great actress in a great location with great video content, but it just wasn't natural. It wasn't the person who'd be doing the work. It wasn't the person who's leading their practice. It wasn't the person who's the deep expert on whichever bit of content they're trying to promote. So it's not just about seeing real humans. It's not just about humans preferring humans. They want to see real humans, the people who they really are working with, who really are responsible for either delivering the work or driving the work. And this is an absolute primary requirement in human beings. And in doing so, what you really are managing to do, you're actually managing to speed up your sales cycle. They're going to whole sort of know, like, and trust model whereby people can see who you are, they can hear who you are, they can understand you. And again, this only is going to happen on video or face to face. Again, the video could be live, could be recorded, but it's still that kind of face to face, side by side or remote. Videos where that happens. It doesn't happen in PDFs, it doesn't happen in blogs, it doesn't happen on web pages. Nothing can replicate. So by not choosing video, you're throwing away 55% of the natural communication that happens between human beings. And in doing so, this is what's speeding up your sales cycle, because they're seeing who you are, they're seeing if you know what you're talking about, they're seeing if they like you, they're seeing if they don't like you, and they're deciding, based on what you're saying and how you're saying it, and the information and the passion and the depth you've got, as to whether you're kind of okay, they like you, whether you're not trustworthy. And this is the natural sort of, communication analysis that's going on in people's heads when they're watching a video. Can't do that in PDFs, can't do it in web pages, can't do it in blogs. So this is why it speeds up your sales cycle. Because previously, they've had to, arrange a meeting, do a phone call first of all, then arrange a meeting, and then spend the time going to go and see them face to face, and then only then are they starting to see you and understand you properly in a real, human environment. So this is getting rid of all that. So people are able to find your video, find your content, see that you're solving their problem, understand whether they like you, whether they trust you, whether they really want to get to know you better. And that's you speeding up the sales cycle. And in that doing so, you're also not wasting any time on pointless meetings where there's just no connection, they don't actually like you, they don't even trust you. You've got rid of all that up front. You've filtered that automatically because they've seen who you are and they've seen whether they trust you and like you and want to work with you to the next stage. And again, 2020 was absolutely the breakthrough year for video. For many of us, video is an awkward tool. You're recording yourself, you're putting yourself out there, but we had to get over it in 2020. Every one of us was on Zoom calls, if not daily, multiple times a day. So, in terms of being comfortable in front of a video camera, in terms of being comfortable inviting people into your own home, with your kid or your cats and running around, this is an absolute breakthrough year for us all being forced to not just use video, but just embrace and accept it as the way forward. So you should have no compulsion or concerns about creating video. And we always do this we call it the blog test. Literally, I could ask you to write a blog today on your specialist subject, and you would say yes. You'd say, yes, I'll write the blog. But how long is it really going to take you? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Maybe longer, if you're ever going to do it again. But your intent's there, you want to do it, you can do it. But sitting down and writing is very, very painful and time consuming. But literally, I could do an interview with you now. We could turn on the video, get onto Zoom in 5 seconds. I could ask you questions around your core business knowledge, and the video would be ready in minutes. And from that, this is where the magic of leverage starts to happen, is that not just is it created fast, but it's highly leverageable. So what happens is that you've got one video. Let's just say we do a 20-minute interview. I ask you, about the business problems your customers facing, the real challenges they face, the options they've got, seeing how they build a business case. We start talking about those kind of things around the content that you specialize in. And from that, we're going to have a long form video automatically. You may need a bit of topping and tailing, a bit of editing, but that long form video is there already. So you can use that on its own. You can use that on YouTube, and you can use it on social media. But we can also take the video, the 20-minute video, and we can split the questions and split it into different questions. So you've got excerpts. So instead of the 20-minute video, maybe you get 10 2-minute videos, or it doesn't actually matter how long the exact length is, but you've got short form videos. Then you can reuse again on social media and on YouTube. So rather than someone having to watch a 20-minute video to see if they find the information they're looking for or the answer to the question they've got, you can actually tease them or suck them in by just giving them snippets of information or snippets of content, but then they can decide whether they want to go deeper and watch the whole video. And then of course you've got the 20-minute video, but you can get it transcribed. Transcription happens automatically. Zoom's got a very, very powerful automatic transcription that works in many languages. But with that transcription, you can create a blog. I mean, blogs literally can be done by anyone in maybe less than an hour. But with the blog, you've then got, understanding of the content. You can turn the key messages into quotes for social media. And so you've got images you can have in social media. You can take the audio from the interview and turn it to a podcast. And all of this, you can be reused for your newsletter. So in theory, we always start with video first, but it's not video only. It's using video as a fast way to create content that's on its own is powerful enough. But the leverage you can take from creating that one video and turn it into multiple other formats of content that then creates your social media strategy or fills your social media strategy in that bit of content. And the best thing of all that we kind of overlook with with social media and YouTube is that, social media, you can churn out the content, and if people miss it, they miss it. But with YouTube, the content's there forever. Literally, in a year's time, 2 years time, 3 years time, 10 years time, your video will still be there. And by getting it, and we show you this in the last video, by getting the video to rank very, very well, very early on and very quickly, that embeds you in a way that keeps out your competitors, not just today in the way that maybe social media grabs your attention quickly, but for a long time to come. So video, fast, easy, effective, and leverageable. Simple as that. If you need to understand any more, then just ask me any questions at all. And it keeps going back to the basics. It's for 200,000 years, people communicating face to face. So that's why so much of communication is about the visuals. It's fast to create, it's highly leverageable, and you can quickly repurpose it for multiple uses. So that's it. In the next video, this is really, really important. It's why you understand, or why you have to understand that you get zero competition. And then with that, the kind of content you need to create to make sure that you can beat your competition, embed your space now. So therefore your competition, if they wake up in a week's time or a month's time or a year's time, they can't chip away at what you've done. So any questions, just reach out to me directly and I'll answer them by email.